This is just like a quick thing. I was watching this movie called Upgrade. It's from 2018, and it's got some things that I find kind of fascinating because it seems to have like some disclosure stuff, but it also they do these like twists. Like if you notice in the movies of our future, what they're trying to sell us on was this like Blade Runner, the inner city kind of, I don't know, it's always kind of dark. It's a lot of water spurting places and a lot of propaganda coming at us. And you can't tell what sex anyone is or what gender anyone is. You can't tell, you can't tell what the, like it just seems like this mashup of a bunch of different, but most of the people seem to be kind of more Asian or from somewhere over there in the continent called Asia, right? I mean, there's so many things that are so offensive you just don't even know like what you're allowed to say. It's crazy. But anyways, so they're always like selling this future, and it's very in the city and the high right, like everything just looks like there's way too many people. It's like overwhelming. How can there be this many people? And sometimes there's cars flying in and out and stuff. And that is the thing, is that there is the technology is so far advanced from what they've let on, because it's all about them and their greed, and who gives a fuck about us? It's all about them, this group. And so in this one too, they also have this advancement where you can kind of like, you become, this guy is paralyzed, and there's this research thing being done on this computer thing, and it can go inside of you, be implanted, and it can take over. So whatever's disconnected that's causing you to not be able to move your limbs, this thing will take over and move for you. And it kind of makes you into this bionic person. Like it's a computer thing, so you can tell it to take over, and it becomes like, bionic person, super person, right? Which is selling us also on the transhumanism, because they've got that in there, but their technology is definitely this advanced. But the other thing that I thought was pretty fascinating was that it has this implant thing starts talking to the guy, and I swear his name is Stan, but maybe I'm thinking an alien. That computer was Stan, or in Odyssey 2001 or Space Odyssey 2000, because that one had a computer person too. I don't know. I swear his name was Stan. But anyways, it starts talking to him, and he starts having conversations with him, and he has to talk out loud for the computer to hear him, because he can't hear his thoughts. He has to say the words, and then he can hear him. And so the guy's talking to himself all the time. Well, it looks like it, but he hears the thing inside of him talking. And the thing that I was really intrigued by was that is what it's like to me, for my higher guidance or whatever, whoever's driving this avatar from somewhere up there. I'm not sure, but I can hear him talking, and it is like in that thing. And I told you, like, it will be, don't forget this. Oh, get that. Oh, you're going to need that later. Oh, get that. Oh, when you pass by there, get this. That's what he was having. I was like, okay, so maybe I'm a fucking android and I don't know it. I don't know. anything's possible in this fucking weird world. So, could be. I'm a fucking android. I think that they were kind of disclosing or confronting the issue or something. I'm not really sure. It just is weird when they put stuff in the movie, especially when it is, we got transhumanism bullshit, AI people on the table. We got technology way farther advanced than what we know about on the table. And then we have all these fucking lost souls that are willing to just, I don't know, you cut off your index finger, you won't get sick until you get sick. Because if you get sick, you may get sick. We don't know if you're going to get sick. You could get sick. It just is possible that you won't get sick if you... It's like, okay, you guys, come on. Think for your fucking selves. But anyways, there does seem to be people who would, do whatever they tell them to do. They'll stand in line to do it. And, but I think that everybody can have, if everybody is not hearing like how it is in that movie Upgrade, if everybody isn't hearing that kind of communication, I'm not some special thing, unless I'm maybe an AI person. I'm not sure. I mean, anything's possible. But I think I'm an actual human being, and I'm just in tune with my guidance, and I've had a series of events that led me in that direction, and I can hear him that well, and I think everybody can. I think everybody is going to long or yearn or try and learn how to get in touch like that, because I think that people are going to start realizing that the way to feel good is your spiritual connection. Because, I feel good. I feel happy. I feel content. I don't feel nervous. I don't feel scared. I don't feel scared of death. I don't feel any of this stuff that all these people seem to just, hold on to. And, I'm all about the experience and the growth and, the opportunities while I'm here, and the legacy of what I do to leave behind, because whatever I do at this point in my life is going to be so it affects the future, and I want to affect it going in a positive direction. I want to, I feel I pull all my guidance from, the area, realm, dimension, the space of love, acceptance, not judging, patience. Those are the things that I certainly strive for. And I think it's very hard when you're on this planet, when you're incarnated, because you are fighting chemicals inside your body. Especially, I was thinking about this earlier too, is how much Big Pharma is actually interfering with these chemicals. And just like in this thing that they're doing, that you don't know for sure, because the organizations that watch over these people are part of the same organization. So we don't know what the hell they're putting in any of us and what's being allowed to be put in us. But I think that there's definitely some chemical compounds that are not good. And I think that people need to stay away from Big Pharma and the chemicals. That's for sure. I'm really glad that's going to be ending. And the way I see it, because when I'm watching that show, and right away I was thinking about Blade Runner, and I was thinking all these shows, they either show us like it's a fucking apocalypse, it's just the end, it's just the worst thing. We got fucking people coming up from the dead eating us. We've got, one thing after another, and now it's started with this, bullshit going on crap. you know, that they all wanted it to go this certain way. And, you know, once we got through these hard times of war, then we're just all compacted in the cities like fucking sardines. So we're easier to control. We have implants. We have everything in our apartment controlled by this central controller. And, you know, we've all given it freely. We've all jumped right in, you know. But that timeline is, that's where it's confusing, because I don't know if it's going to go on. Because then that other show too, remember, I couldn't remember the name of it, and it was called The Leftovers. I think it's from some books. And that was the people who, you know, just all of a sudden woke up and, you know, half the people are gone. And then the people who are left are questioning, like, what are we doing here? Are we the bad ones? Are we in hell now? Like, what the fuck's going on? I don't know for sure if that's what they were saying. Because even if I watched the whole thing, I wouldn't remember. But that's what makes me think of. And, but I don't really remember. I don't think that show was on, I don't know, a channel I didn't have. So I think I've seen, like, been at someone's house when they were watching it and saw an episode kind of thing, and they told me more about it, and this is my interpretation. But, you know, they show that kind of stuff too, because that is disclosure. I mean, because that is the biblical thing. And I don't think that the Bible is the end all be all, because I don't even know anything about it. You know, I know little bits and pieces, but I think it's been manipulated. I would not give, you know, all my beliefs and shit into this book that's been manipulated by the controllers. So there's so much of that that stuff. But the tribulation, which, you know, a lot of religious people think we're in the middle of that right now, is that, you know, the good ones are going to suddenly go off. And you just start seeing how it all kind of is connected, and how they show it in these movies. Like, you know, people are, there's so much stuff that is being disclosed in movies that is being contributed towards entertainment, and it's not entertainment at all. Like, even in this one, it starts pushing the agenda of the androgyny. You know, the girl doesn't want to be asked what her gender is, and, you know, her non-binary, whatever, all the bullshit. It's like, fucking hell. You know, they have that little bit in there. But when they show some of that stuff, there's so much disclosure over things that we think aren't real. And they just kind of show us, you know, as like we're supposed to play along, but they're really being real, and we're just being like, but the thing with, I don't remember how I got off on the leftovers and stuff, because that wasn't even what I was, but I think that that timeline is, to me, I know that I'm not on that timeline. Just like I said the other day, I know for sure I'm not on that timeline. And, you know, if that is going to be, you know, the earth splitting into two, and half the people going that direction, my throat's really dry, and they have to continue to play that out, you know, I don't know. I've certainly heard people talk about that. That's how they see what's about to happen. I have no idea. You know, and that would definitely split it, where it would be, you know, the leftovers. It would be in two different places. But I know the timeline I'm on. And that is for a big change on the planet Earth. And I do see where it is going to be people leaving cities, going out. I think that there's going to be land that's going to be given away. And if you go out and you, just like when they did the homesteading, you know, if you go out and you tend to this and you build it up and stuff, you can have it. If you take care of it, you know, have it. Because people are in the cities for People are in the cities for work. People aren't just all hovered up in cities. I don't think I've hardly met anybody who said, I would prefer to live in a city. I would prefer to live in an apartment or a high rise. Most people say, I'd rather move and be away from people. I'd rather have some space. And, I think that's more of our human drive or our intuition or whatever is to be kind of like that. Like, I need a little bit more space. Like, we have a lot more energy and all our energies in the cities is all bumping up on each other. People don't even realize, your bad mood could be totally because your neighbor just, his brother just got shot or something, like it can be totally someone else's trauma that is bringing you down. People just don't even, realize how much all these different energies are affecting them. But people will naturally, and what I'm seeing as the timeline is then we'll be going out. And there's going to be communities that will be formed, but it's not going to be like the communities there have been. Like, there could be communal living and stuff, and they may have their own rules, just like the, what are the people that have been doing it for so long? The Amish people. And like I talked about before, we have these older communities too that haven't really gone in and been citified or whatever in like Cajun areas and Appalachian areas and stuff where people still live in these communities, and that's all they do is live in these communities. They don't have to go outside. But there's also going to be a lot more travel. There's not going to be, work's not going to be the same thing as it has been for a long time. It's going to be more of, it is going to be more about people taking care of themselves and bartering and trading and the smaller community farms and stuff. We're not going to have corporate things. And it's going to be kind of a lot for people at first to start having these corporate, because we have become dependent. Like, it has been the drug of humanity, the dependence on the control by these controllers, these beings, these, that have formed all these corporations to hold us in. And as these corporations all, dissolve and just fall apart, there's not going to be a restructuring like that. We're gonna become a lot more independent. We're gonna find our own independence, that we don't need to rely on anyone or anything or any system, And there's gonna be a lot more of nomadic gypsy kind of, wanting to get out and see the world. People going out to teach their kids about other things. It would be so much more important for children to learn how to take care of themselves, how to take care of families, how to, weather storms, and how to be able to have skills so that they never have to go hungry. That's the kind of teaching that a lot of people are going to be doing is, what is a good skill that you can have to help others and to, if you need money or to trade or barter or whatever you need. I mean, I think that there's going to be people who are able to just travel just by that. It's not going to be like you have to have a whole tons of money. And people's money thing is going to totally change. Their values are going to so much change. If you don't have bills, what are you going to do with your time? Because when I, became disabled and had to be home all the time, and I didn't have a job, I didn't have a purpose, I didn't have an identity, it was horrible. It was really horrible. It was such a loss of myself. And so, and that's part of the rebuilding yourself as well. But, those kinds of things where people have to reevaluate their values and their purpose, then people are also going to see that they need a lot less. You know, there's going to be communities that are going to be completely just built on, you know, we got this guy who farms, we got this lady who makes blankets, we got, you know, and people are going to just share around, but we're also going to be so much more technologically advanced that we're not going to need things like what we have been shown or told or, you know, placed into. I mean, these controls have been placed into our habitat in order to control us, because was part of the whole system. But once those things are released, you know, and we have all this technology, we have time, we have plenty of money to live our lives. You know, I don't believe, because there's going to be this transformation, you know, it's not going to turn into a bunch of, you know, Paris Hilton, 1996, or I don't know how old she is. But, you know, back in those days where they were, even the Kardashians, where they really try and sell us on this shallow lifestyle. You know, it's just completely shallow, just about me, 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 me. And I think people are going to feel their worth. They're going to feel like when they do something, it matters. And, you know, through this process, you know, I don't know how long it's all going to take, you know, and that's part of all of this stuff that's happening. But there's going to be so much growth that the future on this planet is going to be just completely different. It would be a split between the two. Like, that would be such a different experience than what the experience is that we are headed for. And it doesn't matter how many different times that I see these other timelines, I can't see them, you know? They just don't resonate. They don't feel right. I know like my soul purpose. I know why I'm here, and I know I'm not here to clean up dead bodies and shit. I'm here to bring forward, you know, how to love yourself. I'm here for love and helping people find love for themselves and just a different way of looking at things. And, you know, I know that. I've been seeing my role for years. I've been, you know, doing and saying certain things. Just pointing out when somebody comes to you with an issue, a problem, and, you know, they're all upset, just pointing out, you know, the positives or other perspectives or other ways, she's sleeping, other ways to see it, you know, because people get very pigeonholed and narrow-minded of how they're looking at something. And a lot of times they look at things in whatever way is going to suit their own perception of self. So however they can get that reflected back. So if you have to be the bad guy for me to be the good guy, or if you have to be, you know what I mean? So it's always this kind of, it is a distorted perception of some experiences. And so it's helpful, I think, to point out different things. But, you know, I have really seen that I've been doing that so much, and I've been seeing people be like, I don't know, it kind of uplifts them just to get out of that broken record, because you do so much in your interactions. Look for how to self-confirm your own perception of self. And my throat is getting so scratchy again. I don't know if that is sometimes people say that happens as something with your throat chakra. You're speaking the truth, or you're trying to not speak the truth, or something. I don't know. I'm not expert on all those things. I'm not expert on anything. I just share my insights and my intuition and how I see things. Because for just like what I was just talking about, just getting other people's perception, other people's perspectives helps us in our own self see things in a bigger view. It gets us out of narrow-mindedness, and it gives us a more broad perspective over everything, you know? So I feel like that's part of my role, you know, and it kind of, you just start doing things like naturally, but you got to you got to really listen to your thing, but don't also, there's just so many people who are, I don't know, trying to set the rules for this spiritual, you know, where you got to be and how you got to get there and all this stuff. And there is no direct path. There probably is no path that's not going to have a lot of stones and a lot of things that are going to hurt. You know, that's part of the whole thing. It's facing yourself. You know, that's the biggest growth. That's why the victim mentality and shit just holds you back. Because the whole thing is facing yourself. What is my role in my life? How can I change my life? How can I change my perception? How can I change my perspectives? How can I stop judging others? How can I look at everything in a broader view? You know? So, anyways, that is my little thoughts of the day. And so, I just thought I would share those. But in that movie, Upgrade, so if you, you know, I talk about all the time that I hear him talking, and I don't think that everyone, you know, I mean, some people hear it just the same way as me. But anyways, if you're curious what I'm talking about in that movie, it's just like a voice talking to him, telling him things and directing him and stuff. So, okay, we'll talk later. Have a great day. Bye.